I've always had this desire, very creative. I'm very creative, and I've always had a desire to write. I've always been in love with words and telling stories and weaving stories. I think that illuminates humanity when we hear the stories of people outside of how we've grown up and outside of ourselves. And it was in that realm that we started our public relations company, public affairs company. My husband and I relocated to the Dallas-Fort Worth area from Seattle, and we weren't ready to retire. We're still young. He wasn't ready to hang up his spurs, and we both felt that we still had something to give and something to do and something to offer, and that's how we started the LJR Group. I think my parents have inspired me the most. My mother is a phenomenal woman, and my parents have always been there for me. They've never told me that there was something that I would not be able to do. They inspired me to go to school and get my education. I look at my father, who was one of the first African-American sergeant majors hired in the Army or brought on by the Army during World War II. There were only 6 of them, and his story. And I lean into their strength and their values, their belief in God, their marriage. They've taught me what marriage is supposed to look like. When our children were born, they were these fabulous grandparents, and they have just been a pillar in my life. So personally, I would have to say my parents. In traveling, you know, it can be lonely sometimes when you have to go to another place and learn the environment, meet new people. And so I've just been very blessed in that arena, where every place I've ever gone, there were women that have just kind of taken me in and nurtured me and held me accountable and inspired me. When a woman says enough is enough, things happen. You know, we don't have to get on television, and we don't have to have a conversation about it. Things just start happening when we have made a decision that something needs to change for the benefit of not just my child, but your child, or you know, the tribe. And I think it's very primal, actually. I think that it's just a part of who we are as women. The most important life lesson that I would like to share, that I've learned at this stage of my life, is the importance of us supporting each other and encouraging each other. I can remember so many times in my life in a business environment where I didn't have that. We need good teachers, you know, to teach our children. We need good doctors. We need engineers. We need these kids to be really focused on math. I want to develop an intercontinental leadership group of women, to take them to Africa so that we can learn from the women that I've met in Africa, and we can share those stories, because what I learned is that the issues are the same. It may be on an entirely different scale in some places of the world, but our issues are the same. My parents were the ones who said, you will get an education. Education empowers you. And I think that we have to do better. We have to do better in mentoring these young women, all young women, to let them know that, and to encourage them that there is something more, that there's something beyond what they see. And that's why I think exposure is so important. Take them to plays, take them to lectures, take them out to dinner and show them how to navigate a 6-course meal. You know, expose them to the banking system and to technology. That's what we have to do for our children and for the larger community of children that belong to us. When women come together and we are supporting each other and have each other's back, we change the world. We change the world. I think that's what we do by design if we're on the same page. So I would say, you know, encourage and inspire each other. We can walk into the boardroom and say, oh girl, I love those shoes, and then keep it moving and, you know, pass some amazing legislation or you know, some amazing problems some big problems that are out there, and just get it done. We can do that. I am Lisa Ross, and I believe in the power of women.